We've had murals painted last year for the 40th anniversary of the first school. There have been pancake breakfasts and barbecues and cake walks around the Sun Circle. We've had planting bees and weeding bees and constructing things and tending things. All kinds of volunteers of every shape and size and every age you can think of, including in mid-80s down to mid-first year of life. Mrs. Batchelor brought her brand new baby. I have a picture of her infant lying in the nature ground when she was a tiny baby. The volunteers here, not just at the school, but in this community, are absolutely amazing, and there's no end to what they can do, which is sometimes unfortunate because then we have more things to do. So here we are, gathered once more for Whispering Signs and our ecological encounters in the urban prairie. When we first adopted Whispering Woods, we wanted a sign, just a sign that said Whispering Woods. You know, when you name something, you want to put a sign up, so everybody knows the name. But we got a little carried away over time. As we came to understand the space better and began working more closely with natural areas, and the teachers came out more and more with their classes, and neighbors came more and more often, we started wanting to share more of our growing appreciation for the spaces. We wanted to celebrate our ecological diversity. What does that mean? Well, all that biodiversity, all the living things and the non-living things, and our social diversity, all wrapped up together. Okay, the years went by and we kept thinking about our signs. We gathered ideas while engaging in other projects, while walking and talking with neighbors and naturalists and scientists and students, landscapers and graphic designers, and teachers and staff. We attended conferences and workshops, and we engaged in classroom consultations. We came to hear many voices. Sorry about that. And many concepts. And how are we going to put these on all the signs? How are we going to do it? That dilemma went on for quite a while. We knew we wanted student work, student text, student art. And we began to gather that in earnest a couple of years ago without really knowing how it was going to come out. And so 2 years ago, we gathered a great collection of student art and poetry to choose from, including scans of artwork from alphabet books that the grade 1 2 students at that time had worked on. You'll hear more about those a little bit later, and some of you have already seen some of the alphabet signs. Anyway, when I gathered up all those materials for our committee to look at over the summer, we just fell in love with that alphabet book project. Amazing work that you students and teachers have been doing all these years, using the local environment in your schoolwork. And then an idea came along, another one of someone's good ideas, and I just couldn't contain myself. And the very, very first person I talked to about this particular idea was Karen Dummel. She was the first chair of the Environment Committee at the school, and she's had so many good ideas in the past, so I wanted to share it with her, see what she had to say, to see if she liked the idea of an outdoor alphabet as part of the signage project. And so she came to visit, and Karen, do you remember 2 years ago we were weeding right there? Right there we talked about that. That was the first conversation about alphabet posts. Okay, and then I got up the nerve to talk to Debbie Hall, who was the new chair of the Environment Committee, with me in between. And then I had to get permission from Andrea Batchelor. And then I was so worried. Oh, Andrea, Mrs. Batchelor, that is. For a whole... See? Somebody just learned something. Your first name. Do teachers have first names? For a whole year, Mrs. Batchelor was on maternity leave, and she still came to our meetings. Okay? So she was here at a summer weeding bee, and she liked the idea too. And the more people we talked to, they liked the idea, and they added their thoughts. And then I got worried. I got really, really worried. Because, why was I so worried? Because if we all like the idea, then we might just have to do it. Oh, and that meant a whole nother school year working on the signage, and we had to get our grants extended again. And that meant that we needed other art to go on the large signs, which we still wanted. And so we started asking local artists to see if they might participate. And yes, there was interest. And 10 wonderful, amazing women, and I think most of them are sitting in the front row over there, they all came forward for this. And then we held our breath, and we went to our graphic designers, who are also here, and talked about this new idea to add to the old idea, and they came up with a plan. And so we were all set. We knew what we needed, we knew what we wanted, we knew how to get it, and at last we started in on the details of the signs. And we started at the beginning of time. We went back into deep geologic time, back to when the continental and alpine glaciers met and merged right here, and left the glacial lake where your feet are now. We went back earlier and earlier in time, earlier than the days of the dinosaurs, earlier than the days of the Rocky Mountains. And we thought about the landscape unfolding before you right here, and thought about what it might be telling us about bygone shores.